Over both of our heads.
Hold on, your fucking water's over there.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, well, you hold the conversation afloat then. We're on.
So there I was in the North Atlantic. No, I wanted to tell you a tale.
You want to start telling me a tale?
Yeah, I want to tell you a tale.
Yeah, all right.
I want to thank Eric Hutton for being here as part of our audience this week.
Yeah.
What about this one?
Good.
Now we've got Eric Hutton on the pod.
Yep.
Hi, Eric.
To listen to Hammer tell a story.
So I got this blody's tale, right? No, I flew to the Goldie on Friday last week to be a guest on a pod called Proper True Yarn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds true blue, mate.
Yeah. They've got a huge following. It's like one of the biggest pods in Australia.
Shit.
Yeah. And so this guy that runs it, Knuckles.
It's a Sonic the Hedgehog podcast.
Yeah.
Old Knuckles, he rented like a penthouse in the Goldie. And it was amazing. Like it had, I don't know how many beds were in this fucking place, but I was like, this is the kind of place that I would want to be with hookers and cocaine, not just recording a pod with the boys.
Yeah, right.
And
those are the two options, obviously.
Well, no, hookers and cocaine. Or what you're saying, hookers and cocaine or pods.
Or podcast with the boys. Those are the two options for a penthouse.
But it was just to tell yarns in.
Tell true proper yarns.
Yeah,
well, I don't know what was happening after hours, but this was during the daylight. It was just straight podding. And so
they podding all day.
Podding all day. So he had people telling yarns, and I think he was smashing out like 15 over the course of 3 days.
15 yarns or 15 whole pods?
15 whole pods. And each
Which
pod
would probably have several yarns.
Yeah. So just think about the numbers, right?
Yeah.
How many yarns he would have been here and
enough yarn to make a goddamn blanket this kind of
So that stretches out for quite a few weeks for him, right?
Jesus. Yeah.
And so I flew there from Sydney, and in front of me was this huge unit that I was like, fuck me, this guy's a big guy. That got off.
And if you're saying that,
I'm a big dude.
I'd be saying that if you can't, like you were standing in front.
Right. Well, like double me.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Double
and
hammer.
I remember thinking, oh, fuck, he's a big boy. But I didn't clock anything more than just large unit, right? And then, anyway, Proper True Yarn started posting stuff about other guests that they've had on, including me. And this guy that had been in front of me turned out to be another one of their guests. We'd both flown on the same flight because these guys organise it. They must be making good money out of podding.
To be flying guests out.
The double you guy was on.
To fly anyone, to anywhere, to go into a pod.
Jesus. Especially someone that size.
Yeah. And he was with his wife and kid as well. So that's 3 tickets plus me.
Shit. Were they on the podcast as well?
I don't believe so. I think they sat at home or whatever place they were staying overnight. But then that guy DM'd me to be like, oh, I was on the pod as well. UFC legend Tyson Pedro.
Tyson Pedro was on the...
That was the guy.
That's cool.
That was a huge unit that was in front of me.
Jesus.
Does that name anything to you, Eric?
If I knew who that was, I'd be like, I'd be reacting right now.
So anyway, I already followed him, and I hadn't clocked who he was.
What would be a reference that we could kind of ground this in for you, Eric? What do you know well?
Well, what is he? I mean, the only sport I know is basketball. Which basketball player is he like, this guy?
A one that I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
The answer
oh, shit. Okay.
Okay, we're talking Scottie Pippen. We're talking Alonzo Mourning.
He's not Scottie Pippen.
I'm just trying to think of basketball players.
You're just naming basketball players?
Yeah.
Oh, he's the Pippen.
Okay.
No, this guy...
His ex-wife keeps getting rooted by current day rappers, you know?
Wait, who's rooting Scottie
Michael
Pippen's?
Jordan's son is rooting Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
Yeah, right. I didn't know that.
Future.
And Future, the rapper?
Future the rapper.
Yeah, okay. I was like, and
Not
Future
the
what?
Yeah. All time from this henceforth is like getting in Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
The future is fucking Mrs. Pippen. It's not looking good for her.
You can see why he's a little salty, this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least he's like, I'm all for the past, but the future does not look good for me.
Yeah, if the past is doing it. Yeah.
So I flew back after meeting...
Let me run Tyson Pedro, UFC fighter from Australia. I think his highest rank, he's probably been in the top 15 in the light heavyweight, but has never really gone beyond that.
See, that's the problem. I don't fuck with anything outside the top 10.
But now he's got into boxing. Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was supposed to have a fight in March, I think, but he injured his elbow, so he's just recovering at the moment. So thoughts and prayers with Tyson and speedy recovery. We'd love to see him in the ring. We know he's a fan of the podcast.
Tell some yarns in the meantime.
But he was telling yarns. But I flew back that same day. I went up and back because I was like, I can't stay on the Gold Coast on my own for more than a few hours. Otherwise,
fucking this dude's been in the clink.
The devil will chase me. You know what it's like.
Yeah, right.
You know?
You can't be trusted in the Gold Coast.
You know what it's like. You wouldn't know what it's like.
No, I've got no idea what it's like.
Other people out there, alpha dogs, woof woof, would know what it's like when you're out at the Gold Coast and there's a bit of sun.
Other dogs sniff you out.
There you go. They're
with little doggy bags.
They're like, I wouldn't even tell anyone I was there. I get a text like, Hammer, we know you're on the Goldie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sense a disturbance
There's a car pulling up.
in the alpha force.
There's a car pulling up with 3 bags in it. Jump in. So I had to get out of Dodge real quick. And so I flew back. And as we landed back in Sydney, this woman went to the overhead compartment to get her bag out. And she had one of those heavy metallic drink bottles that everyone's fucking got now, right? Mm-hmm. That was in like the side, when they've got the elastic kind of side holdy part of the bag, of a backpack?
Yeah.
It fell out of there and fell and hit my foot. And it was quite painful.
Shit.
And so I was like, this fucking bitch needs to bloody be careful with her rogue bottle.
Yeah, she's lucky that wasn't Tyson Pedro.
Yes. And so I looked over at her husband who was sitting down and he was looking at me in kind of horror. And I thought he was worried about this thing falling and hitting my foot. And then I turned and the old bloke sitting opposite me, it had hit his head first and split it open and he was bleeding everywhere. And so I thought everyone cared about
like, hey.
so I thought it was a big deal that my foot got injured. This guy is literally pissing blood out of the top of his noggin everywhere. And I'm like, holy shit.
Jesus.
So
some
like,
Anzac is sitting there bleeding to death. And you're like.
And so like also it was the worst time for this to happen because everyone had stood up to like exit the plane.
Oh, this is as it's landed.
As it's landed.
Yeah.
Right. So everyone stood up and so they can't get any assistance because there's just a million people in the way.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, we need some medical assistance here.
Yeah. And you're like, I'd like an ice pack, please.
Yeah.
And so,
the medics run in and start doing your foot.
So this bloke's just trying to like act chill as he's got like a napkin on his head, which is just getting like just deeper and deeper crimson.
Was he still you still do that when you're older? I thought you hit an age where you stopped doing that. Where you're like, oh, it's cool. No,
he took it. He was taking it like an absolute legend.
Also, he wasn't like trying to clamor out for help or anything. He was just
like, oh, that. And then he apologized to some other woman. He goes, sorry for swearing because when I hit him, he must have gone, fuck.
Oh my god, this dude is an Anzac.
Yeah.
Like, apologies to everyone for the foul language.
Yeah. That's how they were back then. It's like your mate gets his head blown off one foot and you're like, fuck. Oh, sorry. Excuse me, lads.
Just mustard gas everywhere.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's not.
Sorry for taking the Lord's name in vain.
A grenade goes off and like shivers.
Yeah.
Oh, far out.
Yeah.
So this woman, like, we were standing there. They had some napkins, and he had his like old mates there trying to act chill with him, like being like, "Oh well, we'll fix that up. A nice little whiskey when we get out."
That's the old dude thing, huh? I was on a bus once that crashed, and as we were getting off, everyone was saying to the bus driver, like, "Oh, thanks, mate. Are you all right?" And he said to every single person, he goes, I might have a beer later. Or I'm all right, but I might have a beer later. By the time I got to him, I'd heard it 8 times, but I still enjoyed hearing him say it. You know what I mean?
You're like, I think you probably shouldn't have had any beers before.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, all the old blokes are trying to act chill, but I think everyone behind him was thinking like, nah, you're going to need stitches, dude.
Yeah.
Because it was so much blood. And so then it got to the awkward point where the crowd started to thin out as people started to exit through the front and rear door. And the woman who had caused this whole kerfuffle by dropping the fucking metallic bottle.
Wait, was this his wife or was this just a random woman?
This is a random woman sitting behind him with her kids and husband.
Yeah.
In the seat directly behind him, who had dropped this bottle from a great height because it was just in a loose part of the bag. So I mean, you can do time. That's malicious wounding. You can do time for that kind of injury. I know that.
You can't do time for dropping a bottle.
Not for an accident. No. If you whack someone over the head with a bottle like that and split their head open.
Yeah, to be clear,
manslaughter maybe if it dies.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's a violent weapon. These hard metallic bottles.
Yeah, just to stick with. I mean, I don't know. I guess plastic's not bad, but it's not killing Anzacs. You know what I mean? It's not killing the last living digger.
So this woman didn't know what to do. So she just said to him, she's like, "I'm really sorry that's happened. I hope it's all okay," and then just walked off. With the kids,
shit,
and husband. And I was like, well, I mean, what are you meant to do?
I agree. What is she meant to?
What are you meant to do?
You gotta just sit there, even if in your head you're like, what am I doing? You just gotta sit there for a bit.
Yeah, you just gotta cop it. I think you're right, actually.
A dude fucking elbowed me in the face playing basketball once and fucking broke my nose. And he sat in the hospital with me until I was like, dude, leave. Go away.
Yeah, this is actually worse now.
Yeah. Well, I was like, man, I'm going to be here for another couple of hours.
Was he also a shit hang, though?
No, it was fine. it was comic.
Yeah. Okay.
Reuven.
Oh, yeah.
Reuven.
Yeah.
How did Reuven get his elbow to your nose?
He leapt.
Flying elbow in your
I was
face.
reaching down to pick up the ball, and he was jumping as high as he could. No, yeah, it popped me. Not one basket had been scored in that game.
What, was it just earlier? Were you bad?
It just started. A dude went for a shot, missed. We both went up for a board, and
so very early. Fuck.
Yeah. Nothing had happened. But eventually, he sat there for hours to his credit, and I was like, dude, you don't have to keep sitting here, man. But it's if you pop an old dude in the head, you just got to sit there for a bit. That's the rules.
There's a middle ground between I'm not leaving your side and just leaving immediately.
Yeah,
you're I got to get out of here. I'm sorry. Best of luck with this.
It's a few minutes at least.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that moment when everybody's leaving the plane, that is when human empathy is the lowest it can possibly be.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
That's the fucking nadir.
You just want to get away from everyone. You want to get out. And so, yeah, she would have been in her head. And she's she also has the excuse, I've got kids. They're hanging around with me.
Put them in the overhead. Cause less damage than the bottle.
I did try to twist the knife a little because when I was sitting there right next to him, I'm like, I went for the, it fell and hurt my foot really badly. And then I turned around and saw that it must have bounced off your head. Just to let her know that he wasn't the only victim.
So I think
but he absorbed. Imagine how it would have felt on your foot if it wasn't absorbed by his skull.
You're I think
it probably would have broken a toe.
Yeah.
It's if it hadn't hit your head, it probably wouldn't have hit my foot. So I think you owe me an apology. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know if you thought about your role in all of this, but.
Yeah, if you were the kind of guy that got up as soon as the plane stopped, that would have just landed on the seat. You know?
If you're trying to bit of hustle. Because you're right, that all human empathy just drains the immediate moment you step onto a plane. From then on, you're just getting less and less patient. And you hear those stories about people on international flights where someone on board has a heart attack and they've got to turn the flight around. It's just I know I would be going, obviously there's more important things here than me getting to Heathrow on time.
But there is a part of you
fuck
going,
this guy.
Are we past halfway?
Right, exactly. I know that's the rule with a death. I assume it would probably be the same with a heart attack. If you're past halfway, the closest point, right, would be to keep going. Yeah.
I mean, with a death, can I sign something that says if I die on a plane, I don't give a fuck where we go? You know what I mean?
No, one last act of resistance. I want to go back to a different city in Australia. I want to leave Sydney and go back to Darwin.
We'll sign something that says that you have to go to Abu Dhabi if you die. It's you got to refuel somewhere.
My question that I wondered was whether causing that injury to that poor old Anzac is going to change her behavior. So next time she doesn't put the metallic bottle in that side pouch rather than in the actual bag itself.
Yeah, you'd hope so. But, she obviously wasn't really that fussed about the whole thing.
No.
She was just look.
Just walked off.
Yeah. So
washed her hands of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it has to be something extreme. She's probably going to have to kill several old men before she changes.
The bottle falls out. She's like, not again. This always happens.
Yeah. This bottle just looking like a melted candle, dents all over it and shit. It's just like, oh man.
You are right though. Like I often like groan at the people that are the first to jump up, like when the plane lands to get their stuff out. But if he had done that, he wouldn't have got hit with the ball.
Yeah, it's an OH&S thing, really.
What? But think about it, man. Could it have any effect if you stayed in the Goldie and Alpha docked it instead of getting on the plane?
Oh, butterfly effect stuff.
Yeah.
Would I have stopped this man from getting hit in the head with a ball?
Yeah, maybe the point at which you got up stopped him from getting up. You know?
Maybe like my broad shoulders got in the way of this woman trying to get her bag, would then just put her on an angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas maybe if you were just up in the Gold Coast doing something harmless, like, you know,
doing
coke
cocaine
and-
off strippers or something like that.
yeah,
What you're
yeah,
saying?
fucking with dudes falling out of 18-story balcony windows
With Tyson
of a
Pedro.
hotel. Yeah, then you know none of this would have happened.
But on the plus side, you got a new real proper yarn you can tell next time you go up to the Gold Coast.
Proper true yarn.
You get back to the airport, you're like, I'm going to book one more return flight to the Gold Coast immediately,
Yeah.
please.
You're doing this shit in the wrong order.
I'm coming back, boys. I've got another yarn.
yeah.
So that was just a nice little adventure. One day in my life.
Mate, that was a true proper yarn.
That was a true proper yarn. That story took so many right turns where it was like, at first it was about a penthouse and then that wasn't the story. And then it was about Tyson Pedro, but then that wasn't the story.
I thought it was going to loop back to this Pedro chap.
Yeah.
In the end.
It was his bottle the whole time.
Yeah. I thought as the woman walked off, he was going to come on and like choke hold her and be like, hang around for a couple of minutes. You have to.
Sorry to let you down. But
No, but real life just doesn't do callbacks like that. You know what I mean? It's like, it just doesn't respect comedic fucking structure.
No, it's not like a Tarantino movie at all, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The storyline's very kind of narratively linear a lot of the time.
It all unfolds one thing after the other.
Yeah, it's why Scottie Pippen hates the future so much. It's let him down in multiple ways.
you just pointed out, we've got Eric Hutton on the podcast, and I'm like, hey, I want to tell you a story.
Yeah,
But that's like, I just got flashbacks to like whenever you've been at a party, like a Bucks party or something, and there's been strippers hired and you're doing drugs, and then it's like their clock off time. And then I remember I'd already messaged their boss to like extend their time to be there.
Yeah, right.
And there was one girl who was like, okay, we're going to go. I went, oh, no, we paid for an extra 2 hours, so you got to listen to our coked up stories for longer. And the look on
so
her,
they wouldn't know that
they
had
didn't
to-
know yet.
Oh,
That's
no.
And the look on her face of just sheer horror and disappointment when she found out that she'd been booked for 2 more hours.
That's so
And I'm
sad.
like, ha, you got to listen to my shit stories for longer.
Yeah, it's like when you work at a bar and you find out halfway through your shift that you're closing. You know what I mean? Where you're like,
Jesus.
at least I'm almost done.
Yeah,
no, you're
Davo's gone home sick. Sorry. We'll have to extend-
That just doesn't happen to comics. Oh, no, I guess every once it's like I've been emceeing and then the headliner doesn't show up.
But
That's what it's like for that stripper, I guess. It's just like, oh, shit. It's got to fill.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no... She didn't have passion for the job, clearly.
And I let her boss know about it, to be honest.
But also the fact that, like, I remember her look of sheer horror and disappointment did not faze any of us. It's like, okay, so anyway, so there I am on this boat, right?
So that's all it was is just to keep telling yarn.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
But you're paying him I could have come. If you're happy, if the stripping's over.
No, they're
could've called
still
anyone.
naked.
Oh, they're still, yeah, okay.
They're going to be naked. She's telling rambling, incoherent stories to naked chicks. That's the whole...
That's the whole point.
If you had great tits, I'd pay you to do it, but...
Alas.
Does anyone at any point go like, now, do you have a story? Anything you want to tell us?
She'd have to order a stripper so she can tell to somebody.
We'd have to ask for a discount, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to pay me a few bucks.
No, then she'd have to order in a male stripper to get naked so she can tell him a story. And then if he wants to tell a story, he'd have to call another female stripper.
Right.
It's like a kind of human centipede style.
The babushka yarn. Yeah. Man. I used to get at like the Christmas party when I used to work at this irrigation supplies warehouse. And it was in one of those little blocks in Castle Hill where it's just like all trades in a little thing. You know, these weird little, and there'll be like one takeaway place in there that just services
Right, yeah.
all the places. It's like the electrical shop, the mechanics. It's like one of those flowers that's only fed on by like one type of spider or something. You know what I mean? It's like
What kind of food were they selling?
Wait, no. Can we return back to the spider metaphor? I didn't fully get it.
You don't get it?
So there's a flower.
It's like
It's only.
Did you say
it's like-
flower?
yeah, it's like
Spiders eat flowers?
this isn't even anything to do with the story I was going to tell.
No, I know, but it did capture my attention.
But yeah, it's like there's some like flowers that only exist in like one part of the Amazon in like, you know, a 300-meter radius or something.
Right.
And there's one type of bug or spider that also only exists there and only feeds off that plant.
Right.
You know
okay.
what I mean?
So without the other one, the other would be useless.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, right. It's a
That's what
codependent
it's like
relationship.
if you go to a suburb like Castle Hill or something and it's like there's little blocks of tradie places and then there's one burger joint.
Yeah.
And it's like no one's coming from outside
No.
of that square of, you know, trade suppliers. It's like, because the food's not like, oh, you got to go check this shit. The burger place next to the JR Turks.
It does raise that like chicken and egg question though, like whether like the tradie places started up and then like
No,
takeaway
the
places
burger place always starts first.
first, and then they're like, oh,
And then, yeah.
You
we found our new homeboys.
Yeah.
You thought the burger place just attracted all the tradies? We got to work here, fellas.
And electrical wholesalers will start if you start a burger
You know,
place. Yeah.
you know how we've always talked about starting that irrigation supplies company.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Have I got the location for you?
But you know how we said, like, how are we going to get sustenance when we did it, you know? Like, but yeah, anyway, they used to have in one of the places, I think it was the JR Turks, they would have like a Christmas party and it was just strippers stripping on like the pallets that they would leave like fucking all like sores and stuff on and shit like that.
Sick.
Yeah, and they would just strip, and it was just a bunch of dudes from like, you know, the mechanics and the irrigation joint and everything just standing around. And it was like, I just every time I'm complaining about a comedy gig or anything, I just think back to that. It's like where they're just like, yeah, let's just clear these like 3-pong plugs out and you guys just do your shit here, you know?
It just doesn't sound so bad to me though.
he's talking about it from the stripper's point of view.
Yeah, I was trying to, I was doing this thing where I was trying to empathize with a woman.
Yeah, you should try it, Hammer. Give it a go.
Yeah.
I'm really talking about just
So you're saying you're watching a chick's tits?
I'm assuming beers.
yeah.
Hammer's like, what's the problem? Was the burger place closed? Is that the issue? What did you? How long ago were you working at the irrigation supplies warehouse?
Oh, that was like years ago. Like
Yeah.
right after high school, sort of thing.
What kind of people work at the irrigation supply? A lot of other artists.
Yeah. Big artist stopover.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's an actor. No, like a lot of people from out sort of Kenthurst, Glenorrey way.
Is that where you're from originally?
Pig hunters. No, I'm from Epping, so I'm probably the same distance the other way from Castle Hill as like Dural and
Okay.
Glenorrey and all those places are.
And when you just said pig hunters, is that a euphemism or literally?
No, like I'm talking like they be hunting pigs.
Hunting pigs?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
No, it's not alluding to anything else.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I remember once because they used to bring in like pig hunting magazine sometimes. These guys.
I was being very favorable and hope you were going to say like cured bacon or something they brought in.
No.
Like they made you a sausage from the
I don't
pig
think they
they
were
shot.
sharing their stuff. These guys, no. But yeah, I just remember like I would just be bored as hell sometimes, and I would be flicking through like Pig Hunter Weekly, and I was following this.
Pig Hunter Weekly.
Yeah, probably monthly, but I don't know how much happens in pig hunting world. But I remember I was flicking through and I was following this story about how this young kid killed like the biggest pig in Australian history or something.
Oh, I think I've read that story before.
Well, he was
big pig.
Yeah, he was a huge pig, and the kid was a fat little fuck. And I was like, I remember like reading it, just going, I don't know, how did this kid bag this giant boar? And for 2 issues, they were talking about him because he got it, and there was a story, and then there was a story where he got presented something. And then the next week in Pig Hunter Weekly, I was like looking through, and it turned out the pig was owned by this lovely old couple, and it was just like on their property. Wasn't a wild pig at all.
It's just domesticated.
Yeah, and it wasn't running because it was just like used to being patted and shit. And this little fucking 12-year-old fuck just walked up and like popped it in the noggin.
I love the idea of someone at Pig Hunter Monthly doing like a long form expose, like New Yorker style, of unearthing the hoax that took place.
Not a bush pig. Fat boy killed babe.
Yeah.
So I was just looking up because I remember there being a magazine that was like one of those kind of cellophane wrapped ones at the newsagent, meaning you like couldn't get into it. It was always kind of like porn related.
Yeah.
Which was pig hunting and then like naked women. Do you remember
they would
this?
have those as well, yeah.
Because I Googled this I just then and I searched pigs and babes and the first thing that came up was Babe Pig in the City. Which
yeah.
in hindsight is exactly what would have come up.
Yeah.
But there is this Boars and Babes is the name
Boars
of
and
magazine.
Babes, yeah.
And it is exactly what it sounds like.
I used to work in public relations, and I used to have to get like news stories for clients in various news outlets. And there's a trade publication for every single business and hobby in the world.
Actually, the magazine always comes first, did you know? The trade actually starts after you start writing about it.
Yeah, it's like the burger restaurant in the industrial park.
Very good.
They built the art around the magazine.
Yeah, life doesn't do callbacks, but we do, cunts.
Some guys at a newsagent sees himself on the front cover of Boars and Babes. He's like, fuck, I gotta get a rifle.
Yeah. That would be a great, like, sort of like Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler movie or something.
What?
The guy just keeps having shit written about him and then he has to do it.
Yeah.
It just keeps like, I feel like that Will Ferrell movie where he's got the voiceover.
Oh, Stranger Than Fiction? Is that the one?
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah.
Man, that is a deep Will Ferrell cut, which I didn't know really existed, deep Will Ferrell cuts, but I have not heard of that movie before. Stranger Than Fiction.
I think that's what it's called.
I've actually never seen it. But,
no, okay. But you're aware of the
I'm
premise.
aware of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of reminds me, did you see Dream Scenario?
No.
Nick Cage, basically, it's like an A24 film. And he...
is it the one where he's dreaming and he dreams disasters and then they happen?
No, he starts showing up in everyone's dreams.
Oh.
So like everyone starts dreaming of this guy and they don't know who it is. And then someone runs in the street, it's like, I dreamt about you. And then it turns out the whole world was dreaming about this one guy. Yeah.
That's pretty cool conceptually.
Yeah.
So he's like Freddy Krueger, but he's just chilling.
He's just chilling. And he becomes like a celebrity.
It must be shit if A24 made it.
Oh, there, all right. The nuance take from Andrew Hamilton. There it is.
Coming out A24.
Coming out A24.
Whoa.
Here we go.
What A24s have you seen?
I've seen Hereditary, Midsummer, a bunch of the other shit ones.
You don't like Midsummer?
Nah, they're all visually stunning, but then they just suck.
Yeah, right. I mean, Midsummer, like, pretty fucking intense, that bit at the start. That dude just loves parents dying and shit. I don't know what his thing is.
No, it's too damn bright.
Too bright?
Wasn't that the whole fucking point?
You want him to go dark?
It's daylight all the time.
Yeah, right. I thought you meant too bright and like the parents dying or like that is too light.
No, I just mean the visual palette.
Right.
Hamo only
I was going to say, what shit does this dude watch?
Hamo only speaks literally.
Asphyxiating parents. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about the plot. I'm talking about just the visuals.
No. What do you like a moody texture?
I don't know. I need more variety than that. It is the whole premise. It was stupid. I didn't care for any of the characters. It's a no from me.
Well, like, lucky for you, they all die. So,
Did you even get that far? Did you know that?
I did know that. I watched it to the end when that stupid little barn or whatever it's called, the little ceremony thing burns down.
The barn, yeah.
I mean, they've probably got a Scandinavian name for it.
Yeah, for sure. It would just be like barn, but B-A-H-N.
An umlaut of the A.
Yeah. Barn. Yeah.
I don't care for A24 films. They all look great in the trailer, and then you watch them and you're like, oh.
We've been through Get Out was pretty good. Get Out was good.
Oh, is that A24?
That's A24.
Okay, all right, I'll take that back. That one's good.
It's a wide brush you're smearing.
Yeah, it's like hating like Warner Brothers films.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Warner Brothers.
Yeah, they try to be too clever.
Yeah. I mean,
Eric looked deep in thought. I'm like, is he saying anything or is he waiting for this to move on?
no, I was just thinking about how clever A24 films are, and I was just like reevaluating my opinion of you, bro.
That's so funny. Something that is like making no attempt to be intellectual. Like they think they're so fucking smart. You guys in this Colin from accounts? It's like we get it. You're clever.
Yeah. What does this dude think of like Nolan and Lynch films and shit?
All right, I won't have anything bad said about Christopher Nolan. That's different.
So you do like Nolan?
I do like Nolan. Yeah.
You don't think he's trying to be clever?
No, it's something about A24 which just comes across generally for a lot of their films as being wanky.
Yeah. I think you more think it's a bit hipsterish than a bit intelligent.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Eric Hutton successfully psychoanalyzing you with very little resistance whatsoever.
Yeah, that's probably right, Doctor.
You go to a therapist, like, I think you're mad at your dad. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, probably right, Doctor.
I didn't have to get out the diving gear for that one. What are they watching the Clink?
That's a good point.
I watched Shawshank about 4 times. That was on a lot.
They allow that?
Well, I mean, you just got...
They're like, now everybody's got posters of 50s pinups and shit.
I did watch a lot of Fast and Furious.
Of course.
The Godfather sent me on quite a lot as well. It's just whatever ones are on like 9 Go and 7 Mate.
Wouldn't that be great if they only let you watch films about people in prison?
Yeah.
In prison.
And they cut off before the escape every time.
Yeah. Sorry, boys.
Oh, it's The Great Escape, but it's just called The Great for some reason.
It's The Great.
From Alcatraz.
Oh, man, you'd have to watch The Rock.
Yeah.
Fucking, I rewatched that recently and I was like, it is so long. There's so long before they get on The Rock.
Yeah.
But then you're just like, for a bit, you're just like, fucking hell. Like you forget that movies used to draw it out. It's like how long Jurassic Park goes before the dinos. But then the build up when Sean Connery finally gets in through that flame thing. And then he comes back and then he goes, gentlemen, welcome to The Rock.
Classic.
It's like fucking, I was like, oh, that was all worth it. The 2 hours before they got to The Rock.
I know it's a Family Guy joke, but that moment in a movie where they say the title of the movie and you're like, oh.
It is, that is sick. One of the best experiences I had when that Mortal Kombat came out, me and Mario went and watched it at the Blacktown Drive-In.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking every time a character that people knew came on, which is every character. Their horns were going. Fucking people just yelling and shit.
Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
As in, you mean the characters as in they know them from the video games? Like it's Sub-Zero or whatever?
They know them from the video. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sub-Zero comes in very early, no spoilers. But every time a character, it was just like, and then, when Scorpion came in, I couldn't hear the dialogue for about 5 minutes. It was just horns, people going fucking bananas.
Get over here.
People were yelling, get over here. Fucking.
I didn't realize
fantastic.
the characters in Mortal Kombat were this kind of well known. I don't think I would be going like, I can't wait until I don't know. I'm more of a Street Fighter guy. Maybe
then, don't come to the fucking car park in Blacktown then. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I didn't.
No fucking Kens allowed. You look like Ken.
You weren't frothing Raiden? Come on, man. Goro? Fuck. I love that movie when it came out. I used to play on, Sega Mega Drive? I had a good...
Yeah.
Man, I'm showing my age there.
Mate.
Consoles.
If you're going to see that movie, I think you have to see it at Blacktown Drive-In.
I read something a couple of days ago about The Rock because there was like a big clash between Sean Connery and Michael Bay because like Sean Connery was the old head, had been in like a million movies, and Michael Bay is just kind of like upstart, and they had like very different like approaches to how they did things.
Yeah.
And like it was like one of Michael Bay's like early movies, right?
Sean Connery's like, I really think...
Pardon? He peaked early.
He did peak
Michael
early.
Bay.
I think that's his best shit.
Yeah, I agree. And it was like that. Maybe Armageddon was pretty good as well, but like The Rock is probably my...
Armageddon is... Or that bit where Connery's like, "Welcome to the moon."
Well, my favorite conversation that Ben Affleck had with Michael Bay about Armageddon was, why is it easier to teach drillers to be astronauts rather than astronauts to be drillers? And Michael Bay said, "Shut the fuck up."
That is the type of it's like, don't be asking that shit.
But apparently, there was some beef between Michael Bay and Sean Connery because they both had they were very just different ways of approaching a movie. But then
Sean Connery is like, I really think I should slap a woman in this one. Michael Bay's like, I don't know what I have to do with the plot. I don't know.
Yeah. But, what if Ed Harris was a woman and I just really let fly?
And Michael Bay was summoned to go see the studio and the financiers. They had some concerns about the budget and stuff. And Connery just asked if he could tag along, and he went along. And they weren't expecting Connery to be in the meeting, and he just just said, "Shut the fuck up. He's doing a great job. The movie's going along great." And
wow.
And so there you go.
To back up
Michael Bay.
Yeah, right. It's like when the Iceman gets behind Maverick in Top Gun, where they're like, well, if these two are getting along,
there we go.
We can trust it.
And that's why it was a great movie.
Yeah. So, because he probably he probably thinks he's got some shit ideas, but then in the end, he's probably hates, the overseers
suits,
more.
The fucking suits.
Personally, I think you're a fucking idiot.
We're making a major motion picture.
Who is that?
Was that Connery?
It sounded better in my head. I was like, Scottish.
It's nothing worse than being halfway through an impersonation knowing you don't got this.
Yeah.
Leave it with me, boys.
That sounded more like, what was that?
I don't know what that was. It
Thinking
sounded
of major motion.
picture.
It's like a character from Dick Tracy.
But
I was watching the other day, one of the greatest voices ever is fucking Christopher Lee. I was watching the Lord of the Rings behind the scenes.
Saruman.
Oh, yeah,
he also was like
Saruman.
He was like,
this Saruman.
he was also like a British spy, and he killed people.
Yeah.
He was he was a hardcore dude.
He apparently
just very quickly, good job from Hammer. They're glistening over Saruman. We were about to lean into that. And you were like, nah, we'll keep moving.
Yeah.
Well, I swear there's some point in the movie where someone calls him Saruman.
So why didn't you say that?
Well, I said Saruman.
Yeah.
It sounds about the same.
He is the Saruman, though. He's, but yeah, apparently there was a bit because of his all spying and stuff. There's a bit where this dude gets stabbed in the movie, and Peter Jackson's directing him, and then he comes over. He's like, "Peter, that's not how somebody sounds when they get stabbed at all."
Yeah, that's right. Because it was when someone gets stabbed there, it would go through their lung, right?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't scream.
He's they're more like, yeah.
Is there a reason he would know that?
Yeah, because he
was a secret
British spy.
service dude.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He'd killed cunts.
Yeah, wow.
He's hardcore. He's the only dude.
Is he Sir Christopher Lee? He must be.
Yeah. He would have had to be.
You get a Sir for that.
Yeah.
Dude,
If you've done the Secret Service and you're Saruman, what else do you want?
He died recently, didn't he?
Yeah.
Died in 2015. Sir Christopher Frank Carandini Lee, CBE CSTJ.
If he's not Sir, who is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the only dude. It's like, if you watch those behind the scenes, which is one of the best behind the scenes ever, everybody else is just like, oh, yeah, it was cool playing a hobbit and shit and blah, blah. They all just sound like them talking about their character. But he just is Saruman, he's just like, I am Christopher Lee. I played the role of Saruman. It's like, oh, yes, this guy is the dude.
Must be cool when you hire someone and they're already there. No notes.
Oh, yeah. And you could just tell he would just be, at one point he goes, within 48 hours, I knew we were making cinematic history. It's like, this guy would just psych you up on the set, you know what I mean?
You'd need that, wouldn't you? You'd need someone to really tell you that you're making cinematic history.
If someone said that to you, you'd just be like, Jesus fucking Christ.
There must be days when you're on a set of film like that and just like, as with any artistic pursuit, where people are just like, hey, is this shit?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
are we
yeah,
making
yeah.
dog shit right now? And he's like, no.
But if he was like, we're actually making cinematic history, you'd just be like, Jesus.
Fucking oath.
Yeah.
Sorry, I doubted anything.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
they're going to love this at Bankstown Drive-In.
Yeah.
There must be a sense when you're making something that it's maybe you don't know if it's going to be like a pop culture sensation forever, but you might just know it's not shit.
I just feel like everyone has, like, there's always those stories of great movies where they're like, and that's the moment I knew that the world of cinema would never be the same. And that's probably been said on everything from The Godfather through to like Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah, there must be ones where people said it and then you never hear about it because it tanks.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
just
Absolutely.
like, yeah.
Well, they're all,
It's like I was saying, I know this is going to be a hit. And now it's in JB Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
and I want a Razzie for it.
Yeah.
Have you ever done those kind of the Razzie movies? What's that one that John Travolta did that was like loosely Scientology inspired?
Oh, yeah.
Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I've never actually watched Battlefield Earth.
Just like
all the way
YouTube clips
through.
is all I've seen. Hamo's seen everything, by the way. That's his kind of thing. He's seen every movie, every YouTube video. It's just-
Spent a lot
Really?
of time on drugs, just sitting and watching a completed film.
He's seen every single
Yeah,
A24
right.
movie.
Did you say a completed film? yeah. I only watch stuff in pre-production, bro. By the time they've finished it, it's fucking and it's gone, man. The magic's gone.
Nolan, can you send me the dailies?
Yeah. Is that how you always say it?
Yeah, that's right.
You guys want to go watch some completed films?
That's how these guys know if they've made a good movie now, because they look for they just call me up and I'm like, thumbs up.
Yeah. That's finished.
You got to
Hit print.
you got to hit there.
That is like your shit, because it's like, they say music producers go and play it in the shittest car stereo that they can.
Oh, okay.
You
to
know?
see that it was
Because it's like if you're playing it on this beautiful like stereo monitors, everything sounds sick.
Yeah.
But maybe that's it. It's like a movie. You got to show it to the fucking dumbest cunt ever. You know what I mean? Like if this guy, if it's going over with this dude,
We got a hit.
not that I'm implying you're the dumbest.
Well,
cunt.
I mean, that's fine with me. I mean, they must do that, like market research with films, right? They're
Yeah,
going
totally.
like fucking like just middle America to just like places where it's just a bunch of fucking hicks, and they'll be like, "Oh, that movie's great," and they're like, "Fuck, well, it's going to kill everyone."
Oh yeah. I was listening to an interview with Scorsese saying he just hates it because they're just asking them about every element of the movie. There, people will just be like, "Oh, I didn't like that character," and he's like, "You didn't like the guy who tortures people? Like, you're not supposed to like that dude."
That's very funny. I really think the terrorists should smile more.
Yeah.
Show a bit more personality. Get involved.
Yeah.
I got to a point where I'd watch like every movie, so that I'd like go through like really like obscure lists, that like not just like.
You're getting on some A24 shit.
Because like you start with like the Rotten Tomatoes lists and like the best movies ever made and like all those, but then you go for like lists like best movies you've never heard of,
Yeah.
most underrated movies, forgotten movies through time, all that kind of shit.
What's the best movie that we've never heard of?
Oh, there's some fucked up movies that I've seen one that was on like I was looking at these like horror movies that like will scar you for life.
Oh, yeah. Those
There
type
was-
of...
There's one called Martyrs that I saw that do not watch that one.
Yeah. I don't really need to see when people are like, "Oh, there's this Iranian movie, dude, that is just like seriously disturb you." I'm like, I don't really need to be in.
It's banned in 4 countries. It's
Yeah.
Probably for a good reason.
It's banned in countries where you're allowed to kill your kids. It's like, I don't know. I don't think I want to watch it, man.
I think it was French, this horror movie, actually.
The French get into it.
Yeah, just pure gore. And so I did regret that. But at the same time, I was like, oh, well, at least we know.
Some of those movies, I've read the descriptions on Wikipedia, and even that's been a bit much for me. Like just the verbal description, I'm like, oh man, I wish I didn't read this.
Yeah, I don't like it when it's just straight gore porn the whole time, where it's just like, It stops even being scary. It's just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was not scary. It was just a hard watch.
Yeah.
There was a scene where this chick who was hot at one point, then she just gets like brutally tortured and beaten, and then she gets what's the word, flayed, where she has all her skin removed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And at that point, I'm like,
the worst part is that she was hot once. So you prefaced it with that. I'm glad you prefaced it with that.
He's like, there was this chick. She was pretty gross, but she got flayed. It's like, well, that doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to paint a picture for an audience.
Yeah. Highly unnecessary to add that.
All right.
The audience is like, but what does the girl look like? She's hot. Got it. Keep going. Go for it.
Hot French chick, flayed, skin poor. Okay, all right, we got it. Yeah.
And then she had to stay for 2 more hours and listen to Hammer tell stories. That was the worst part.
Yeah. The French can go pretty bananas, you know. It's always like the, you know.
There's a remake of an old Japanese movie called Old Boy. Have you seen that one?
The
That's
Spike
quite new,
Lee
isn't it?
remake.
Maybe, yeah.
I heard the Spike Lee remake is not all that great.
It's not amazing. It's got the guy that played Thanos. What's his name? Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
It's not shit, but
That seems like a. I don't know why you need to remake that.
yeah.
Seems
but-
like them Koreans nailed it.
True, but I mean, you could say the same thing about like
It's like Bip and Bop. What are we going to remake Bip and Bop?
I don't know what that is.
No, neither do I.
It's Korean food.
It's one of the. I was like, who's in it? Is it?
Okay, all right. I know what that is. I thought it was like a. I thought it was
Is
a
it
movie.
I'm fairly certain it's a Korean food.
Bibimbap. Yeah,
that
it
rings
is.
a bell. It rings a
But,
bell. I was thinking movies.
Well, it's just like I don't think we need an Anglo version of it. You know what I mean?
But we remake bloody Anglo. We make superhero movies all the time. Like how many times are they going to do Batman or Spider-Man?
Yeah, I'll tell you though, man. As lame as it gets, I'll never not be up for Batman. You know.
Yeah, I think Batman's pretty. Batman's like been like infrequent enough that when a new one comes out, it's pretty exciting.
But even like I don't know, recently, even when they had that little bunch where they were doing like all the Affleck ones, and then it's like they're doing another one of the Matt Reeves ones. I never won't be there. Even when it gets shit, I never won't be there.
I didn't see the Batman Superman. I didn't see the Affleck Batmans. Didn't do those.
Yeah, see, they were not good.
Yeah.
I watched every one of them.
Yeah.
Same.
I just won't ever not,
Yeah.
Did you see The Batman?
The Robert Pattinson one?
Yeah.
That was good.
I thought it was sick.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for the next one.
I mean, you can have no complaints about that being too bright.
No, dark movie.
Very dark. If you're against a bright palette, this coming with the goods.
It was right up my alley.
Yeah.
No, I liked it.
Literally right up alleys. Mostly alleys, that movie.
That's what he loved about it.
Yeah.
No light in those alleys.
That was very sick, though. It's like he was like putting water on the lens a bunch of the time and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What does that do?
Makes it look all watery. gives a watery view to
At
it.
some point,
Wait.
I'm asking dumb questions, but you can make them sound way dumber. I thought there was like gonna be some insight to cinematography. Like we do this trick, just makes it look a bit wet.
Yeah. Well, I just thought because it's like that noirish thing. It's always to do with like water, like like Michael Mann and all those kind of dudes. They always would just flood the streets with water in their movies because it makes it all look reflective and shit, and all like kind of Blade Runner-ish. And then I was like, this guy's just taking it to the next level.
He's just, we don't need to put it on the streets.
Putting it on,
Yeah.
onto the lens.
He's just like spraying Robert Pattinson with a hose.
Yeah. Next thing, you're just opening the camera, just pouring. You're going to put a liter of water in the camera.
Yeah, it's got the camera in an aquarium shooting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's notes in there. Whenever the movie plays, you've got to turn the sprinklers on in the audience. We want them feeling wet.
Like those 4D movies at Movie World.
Yeah. Well, it'd be like a 4D movie, but it's just for the noirish, reflective water. They're literally spraying you nonstop.
Why are we getting wet? We don't know.
Yeah.
Love the movie,
It's
though.
moody, dude.
Should we do a pilot ad?
Yeah, let's do it.
Have you given Eric the heads up?
I've
about
given
this?
him nothing.
All right.
Tom, can you explain it? Because I never get the
He
words
told me
right.
I have to get erect.
Yes, you do. Well, ideally for the product would be ideal if you could,
Yeah.
just as a proof of concept. But so with this podcast,
Do we have to adjust our? Do we have to because we're selling this to fucking losers, right? Like guys who can't get hard.
Let's cut this out. We're going to cut this out.
I mean,
They're not losers.
This is the demographic, right?
Well, I mean,
Do you want me to do this? I can do this ad reading.
Yeah, you're going to be great. You're going to nail it already.
If we're selling to losers, then maybe our podcast is the best demographic for them to go after.
Yeah.
And we love each and every one.
If you're a weak bastard that can't even point their dick at the
Hey, stop reading over my shoulder. Stop reading the Pilot ad.
Brought to you by Pilot. We write an ad for one another each week. Sight unseen. They have to read it out. Eric has got an ad this week written by Hamo. Eric, you happy to read this out for us?
Yeah, sure.
There we go.
It's Eric Hutton here.
So hold on.
Already, I don't like this.
Start at the top.
G'day, floggers.
There we go.
It's Eric Hutton here. If you're listening to this pod without visual support, you may not be able to tell that I've got red hair. As we all know, gingers are the world's greatest lovers. That's a scientific fact. I'm liking it more. Us rangers are sex symbols across the world. Prince Harry, Ron Weasley, the weird detective on CSI Miami. He was also on NYPD Blue before that.
Oh, David Caruso, was he? There we go. All right.
The gay son on Modern Family. People get horny at their mere mention. Ginger fellas all have enormous cocks, and boy, do we know how to use them. As the old saying goes, once you go red, you're never leaving my bed. Yeah. That sounds, this is going to get me in trouble.
That's our clip.
But even we can fall victim to a little floppy cock. Not true. Yes, we are in fact mortal. But thanks to Pilot's ED medication?
Erectile dysfunction.
Erectile dysfunction. I don't even know. It's not even
He's
in
a good
my
actor.
vocabulary.
Pretending he doesn't know.
I am back to being a sexual Adonis I was born to be. The Fanta-pubed fuck machine my fiance calls me. All right. Well, if that doesn't get any of these fucking...
Hold on, read the finish. Read the end. You got to read it. Oh,
Hates reading the top and the
here we
bottom.
go. There we go.
This is your set list. Man, this I like.
Say the end of the
Breast
ad.
implants. Oh, no, wait. This is your shopping list. Oh, single mothers. Oh. We'll get a couple of single moms.
There we go. What else we got?
Where you going? Meth cock. You want to get some meth cock? That kind of relates to what we're talking about.
Here we go. This is good stuff. This is comedy gold right there.
You've written, I think you've meant to write ADHD. You've written AHHD.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Or is that meant to say dyslexia? Well,
I don't have that.
Riffing off his set list.
AHHD. Dude. No, there's a lot of letters in that word, though.
This would be
I don't
good
blame you.
if you were emceeing a gig. You just got everyone to hand you their like shorthand set list, and you just riff off their short list before bringing them up every time.
No, that would be great.
Yeah.
I do like reading.
Can't wait for meth cock.
Yeah. Phone addiction. Was that you're addicted to injecting phones into your fucking veins? What's that?
Come on, mate.
I mean, they can't.
I'm asking you to explain your bits.
He's addicted to his phone. Eric.
Special occasion. What's special occasion?
Oh, that's just that I say that I was celebrating 2 years of being out of prison.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How much longer are we going to do this for?
You got any other good ones?
How do I get back to
Oh,
the
you
thing?
didn't finish the ad.
Here we go. Hold on. Where the fuck?
Oh, man, the way you use your notes app, crazy.
Here we go.
Go to pilot.com.au if you're like a quarter of a dude who can't get hard and use promo code FLOGGERS20 for $20 off your first order. Pilot. You're a fucking loser if you have to use this product.
There we go. Eric Hutton. Yeah.
Eric Hutton.
Oh, okay. I've not been able to get it up before.
Has a bit. I've said you have a bit about erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, and having a micro penis. Which you'll happily do on stage to hundreds of people. Won't indulge our one sponsor on this podcast for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. I'm not a shill, all right?
Unless it's irrigation systems, I'm not selling it.
Yeah. I got a micro dick and macro integrity, bro.
Have you had anyone? No, it's so hard because
So is this where they don't make it here, right?
I don't imagine so.
This looks very unhygienic in here.
No, it is an office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as someone who has prepared drugs for other people, this would be still considered quite hygienic. I think.
Yeah, in the grand
I'm just
scheme
kidding.
of,
It looks quite nice. I was just trying to continue bad mouthing the product for the sake of humor.
no, it's great. We're loving it.
We love our sponsor. It's our only sponsor.
Yeah, for good reason.
Pilot of the fucking 747
Hard made easy.
beta fucking express.
Hey, I
That
have.
plane is called the Express. I've got from Sydney to Heathrow. You get in the Express?
Yeah, the one that doesn't stop off at fucking Wynyard, you know what I'm saying?
I once suffered from ED myself.
Yeah, right.
But it turned out that it was caused by bad diet and also doing cocaine 6 days a week.
Yeah, right.
So when I got fitter and stopped doing all the drugs, my dick worked again.
Yeah, mine was also due to a bad diet of unattractive broads. You know what I'm talking about? Boom!
No one would care if one of those got flayed, you know?
What is it about reading an ad that changed your personality entirely? Where was this for the first 45 minutes?
I don't like being asked to do stuff.
We'll know for the future. We really just said, hey, will you do something?
Yeah,
And you'd be like, no.
No, I find it hard not to sabotage things.
I'd rather talk about Christopher Lee some more. Could we do that?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Are you working on anything cool at the moment? Like, obviously...
Instead of the shit you usually do? You ever think about doing something good?
Yeah, we're doing some stuff. Me and Jerry have been filming some things, and
Are you going to be doing any more compulsory entertainment?
I hope so. Yeah, or it might not be called that, but definitely doing more sketches and stuff.
Compulsory Entertainment, the name of your sketch-based web series that we're able to talk about.
We just found out today that one of them is going to be in Sydney Underground Film Festival.
Which one?
The Backslap one.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Where
Brilliant.
me and Nat combine at the end.
That was one of your favourite ones, right? You said you loved that one.
Yeah, I think that one's sick. It's the most like a short film. Like if you're going to show it in a short film.
The arm gets so bulgy and big.
The
Slap hand.
Yeah, that was the joke.
Yeah, but
I want to speak for you,
Is
Eric,
that a
as the
problem?
filmmaker.
This is along the lines of your Pro A24 being too bright. The arm was very big.
that was if I had one criticism, I could see that arm too well. It was the veins too easy to see.
Now that I think about it, that sketch series was quite well lit. I don't know what you think about
Especially
that.
the one you were in, Hammer. That was very well lit. That all took place in the daytime.
What was it called?
Dude Island.
Dude Island. Yeah.
Yeah. Though it's hard to have a moody tropical island.
So I remember
Have you
because
seen Lost?
Oh, true.
Come on, dude.
Bang. No, touche.
yeah, it is true.
You just fucking hit me with that was a fucking, what do they call it? A counter swing.
Counter punch.
Counter punch, yeah.
Yeah.
we go. This guy's never seen a fucking fight in his life.
This guy's got no fucking idea who Tyson Pedro is. Wouldn't stand a chance underneath a heavy water bottle.
This guy, he's absolutely swung this guy to death. And then in the third round, he swung him out, dude.
Landed the knockout swing.
Yeah. I sometimes do watch highlights of people getting knocked out. I can't watch full fights. They bore me.
Are these professional fights or are these street fights?
I gotta say, street fights are more entertaining.
Street fights are pretty great.
You're not like look it up like, oh, I want to see the result of that fight, and then you just watch the knockout part. You're not searching for a specific fight. You're typing in knockout.
No, yeah. For some reason, there's something when somebody gets hit. There's something like kind of weirdly hypnotic about. You know when it's like when people get hit in the movies, they go flying back. But something when people get hit in a fight, really get hit, they go down like a collapsible giraffe toy.
Yeah.
They just like drop.
Collapsible giraffe toy.
You've seen that, right? It's like they get hit and then they just
floppy.
go like,
Oh yeah.
and sometimes their like knees are still pointing out.
That's scary when they're like their knees kind of like bend the wrong way as they fall down.
They
They've just
do
got
like
nothing.
I think drag queens call it a death drop. It's like the
yeah.
legs are sort of bent back under them.
Yeah, I get
I
that.
find that like But I don't know. I mean, it's I used to watch that show. I think it was on HBO. It was called like Face to Face or something, or Head to Head. And these two boxers would sit on a table opposite each other, and they would just talk to each other for like an hour.
Oh yeah,
I found it like fascinating. It would suck me up so much to watch the fight. I would be like, "Fucking hell, man! I got to see this." But then when you watch it, it was just like all boxing matches where they just are dancing.
Yeah.
Lots of dancing. And then a little jab, and then one guy wins, got more points.
That is funny because I watch a lot of UFC, and there are a lot of those type of like matches where they talk heaps of shit.
Yeah.
The whole lead, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. I'm gonna fucking kill you when I'm with you in there, and it's just like a very tight decision. At the end of it. Like, you guys really wanted to kill each other, and neither of you could do it.
Well, and it's also like you were talking like you just couldn't wait to like literally bite this guy on the face, and then you get in there and you're being very tactical.
Yeah,
it's like I'm going to score a point here, and then I'm just going to play it. It's like
Yeah.
I don't want to. The only one that truly excites me is like Muay Thai.
Oh yeah,
They are as crazy as these guys sound like they're going to be.
Muay Thai is insane because they do. You know, the average UFC fighter might have like 30 fights in like a very very long career.
Yeah.
Thai fighters have like hundreds.
Yeah.
Like what's that? Rodenkirk. Anyway, like the kind of the heroes of it. It's like 396 wins, 17 losses, or whatever. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, like Vasil Lomachenko had like a crazy amateur record before he went into pro boxing. I think he had like something like 185 amateur fights with like one loss. And,
Yeah. Wow.
And then he avenged that like 3 times over. And, but it's crazy. Like most guys in professional boxing don't have that kind of amateur record, right? They just go straight into it after maybe doing an Olympics or something like that.
Yeah.
It's weird. There was an Aussie boxer recently that went pro and back to, he's doing the Olympics again. I forget his name. Follows me on Instagram.
Fuck, there was a
What he was like, I'm just not digging all this cash and shit.
I think he just liked the pride of representing Australia, I guess.
Right.
I'd prefer the cash.
Yeah, I'd be taking them sweet dollar bills.
As long as it's not brought to you by Pilot, you can't. You're not sponsored by. In fairness, you're not getting any of the money for Pilot, so that's fair.
I mean, if I was receiving some of that Pilot cash,
Maybe we should cut the guests in. Maybe then they'd.
I think then the reads would get
Better, you reckon?
Yeah, I think it would jump.
You just
in
made
quality.
me remember one of those face-off videos. It was Carl Frosch and George Groves. And they did like the handshake at the end of them having the conversation. And George Groves tried to be like really funny. And when they had the handshake, he like pulled him like over the table to be like, I'm going to do the awkward handshake over here.
Yeah, right.
And then Carl Frosch just was like, what are you doing? And then waited for him to relax and then pulled him back the other way. And he like nearly fell over the table.
Wow.
And you're like, this is some funny business, you know. Whereas
So I think I'm more entertained by that, the funny business. You know? I watched this one, I don't know who this dude is, but I think he was like some sort of Eastern Bloc guy, some kind of Russian or whatever. But the other guy was just talking like non-stop shit, and he just sat there and just stared at him and just wouldn't even reply to any of the questions. And the guy this English guy just kept going like, yeah, look, man, he thinks he's fucking hard. He thinks I'm scared of this. Me just sitting there saying nothing. He's a fucking dickhead. Fucking man. And then he would stop and the guy just would keep not saying anything.
That's great.
And then he would just be like, he thinks this is fucking, yeah, mate, you fucking shit. And you could tell he was like getting more and more like jittery as he went on. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy bit. And then when the interview was like, you got to say something, man. You got to say, like, we're on a show where it's about talking, and he just goes, he is scared. And then I was like, I got to watch this fucking fight. But yeah, the dude just like, I was like, this fucking like Eastern European fucking Soviet dude who grew up like picking up cows and shit. He's going to beat the shit out of this dude.
Yeah.
It got me so psyched. And then, yeah, it was just like
There's a thing
he won by a point or something.
Yeah. There's this thing in the UFC at the moment, Dagestani fighters. Where it's like I think it's like a province in Russia, right? Like it identifies as its own thing. And Dagestan is like their combined record in the UFC is like 100 wins and 2 losses or whatever.
Jesus.
Like no one beats these cunts.
They're like the Kenyan distance runners.
Yeah, exactly.
Beating the shit out of dudes. Yeah. Crazy.
That boxer I was talking about before, Carl Frosch, when he beat George Groves, it's like one of the ultimate trolls ever. Now, like for a long time, whenever he got interviewed about anything, he would always bring it back to like, this is a great day, but nothing as great as the moment when I
Really?
beat George Groves in front of 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium.
That's it.
And it would just like, the way that he would like, anytime he was on TV, he would just have some tangential way of bringing it back to that.
This guy's like the 50 Cent of fighting. 50 Cent is like still fucking with Ja Rule. It's like, you won so long ago, so convincingly, and he still buys like all the seats at a concert so that it's empty. You know?
Seriously? That's it.
He'll buy like the whole front rows and stuff like that.
That's like, did you see Kendrick playing the Drake, the Not Like Us diss track just like 5 times in a row?
Yeah,
in LA? You see
yeah.
that? It's so good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you guys see the clip?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. Before I saw it, I was like, does he even need to do a clip? Because I was like, that concert was so huge. It's like you don't want to do something that's little less than the last thing you did.
For sure.
So I was like, I don't think the clip can be as impactful as that. But then when I saw it, I was like, I think you do have to.
It's pretty great.
It's for like, I think it's for posterity as well. It's like in the future, people will watch the clip.
Well, in a weird way, that song has kind of transcended the beef. Like, I know that was the kind of the start of it, but
Totally.
it's like, it's such a big thing that I can see a lot of people knowing that song really well and not knowing the story behind it. Like,
Yeah. It's like the exact opposite of what everybody probably thought was going to happen. Everybody was like, Kendrick will destroy him lyrically, but one of Drake's tracks will probably be a big hit.
Yeah.
You know, because he's just a hit-making guy. But honestly, Kendrick lyrically didn't go as crazy as I thought he might, but he made the hit.
Yeah.
He Draked Drake.
Yeah.
It was
That
like-
I can't imagine, because people always say this now, and it's easy to say in the aftermath, right? Of like, fuck, Drake has just fucked up his entire reputation forever over something that never had to happen if he didn't kind of call it out. But the fact that you will spend the rest of your life hearing certified pedophile, trying to strike a chord, it's probably A minor, and it's just like, that is you forever now. That is what a lot of people are going to be thinking of.
Is the
Has
window
anyone
totally
ever-
closed to respond?
What's that, sorry?
Is the window totally closed to respond? You
He
can't.
tried and
anything he
bombed.
did now, like, I mean, he would have to have a hidden like nuclear weapon of some sort. You know, like he's thrown all the punches, and everything now is just going to be like people just going like, that's lame. It's like when you're doing a gig and you're dying so hard, and you pull out your best bit, and it just fucking
work.
degrade. It's like even more deflating because it's like, that's my best shit and you hate it. You hate anything I'm saying now.
Yeah.
I could literally transform into Richard Pryor right now and do like Richard Pryor live, and I would just be, you would hate me. You know, it's like,
so funny, the idea of like, oh man, Hutton was bombing the other night. Oh, he didn't do the Pryor stuff again, did he?
if I turned in, it would probably be a little like, you know.
You just
Although,
start
could you get
whipping out-
busted for doing blackface if you actually turn into the guy? They're trying to explain. So
just cultural appropriation.
yeah, so you say he was appropriating culture. Well, he was appropriating his like entire being.
Identity.
Yeah. Actually became him. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's right.
I can't tell if he was doing blackface then or if he was doing whiteface before.
Yeah. It's, but I don't know. I think like, no, he could. There's really nothing he could do.
I just love, because what happened, right? It's just like classic high school bullying tactics where Drake's like, you beat your wife. And Kendrick's like, well, you're a pedophile. And Drake's like, no, I'm not. And it's like, no, man, you gotta go further.
It's checkmate.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, if he had nothing, if there was like literally nothing to base it on, it wouldn't have worked. You can't just be chucking out pedophile.
Yeah.
Like you can't just go, I'm going to drop a fucking Hiroshima on you for absolutely nothing. It's the fact that he did some little things. Like, and I don't mean that in the way that it might sound like I mean it. But he did, like, he texted a 14-year-old. It's like, you handed him a crowbar to Jimmy the door open.
Yeah.
You know? And he's probably not even a pedo. But the fact that song just, like, fucking slaps so hard. And it's like, have you ever heard the word pedophile in a rap song before?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to go back.
Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. It was just so. When he said it, I was like, I knew he was gonna say some shit like this.
Yeah.
I didn't think he'd be that direct.
No, there's not a lot of nuance.
Yeah. I mean, which I think is good, but it's like, I don't know. Do you know what I was thinking would be the best next move if you were thinking about it from like,
if you're Drake?
No, I don't know what you do if you're Drake. I'm thinking like if you're Kendrick and you just want to keep, like this boxer guy you talk about, just like continuing to drop more granules of salt. Why doesn't he release a track with Drake's ghostwriters?
Oh, yeah.
That would be like an extra, because it's like, it's probably not worth dropping another diss track. It's like, you won, man. It would be just silly, but just make a normal track, just make the sickest track you can, not even have to be about Drake, but do it with, there's like two guys who are ghostwriters of Drake's who are real pissed at him now.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them like got called out during the back-to-back thing with Meek Mill, and Meek Mill was like, this guy ghostwrites for you, and then he felt like he got done like real dirty by Drake during that. And then there's this other guy, Daylight, this other rapper who like writes for Drake, and Kendrick, in the first track, he goes, your best work is a light pack.
Oh.
He's saying like, back to back, your best song was written by this guy, Daylight. So I was like, why doesn't he get those two guys feature on a track? It would just be like another fucking
a big fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daylight. I bet you that guy likes to make 24 movies.
Yeah, bro.
How much? Am I right?
Yeah.
Man, life doesn't call back, but we do.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this podcast has never really known what it was the whole time. It's like, it's a movie podcast for a while. Now it's about boxing. Then it was about the Kendrick Drake brief.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a bad idea getting me started on hip hop beefs.
I didn't realize that would be a thing for you, but yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Well, because it's like that HBO show where the boxers are talking, but they never fight. It's all
To
talking.
music.
Yeah. There's talking, and then there's rhythmical talking.
Would that be what's that quiz show where you can have masterminds, where you can have any expert topic? Would that be rapper beefs? Would be your topic?
Yeah. Although some people are nerds with that beyond. Like I'd say I know a fair few of them and a fair few of the ins and outs. But
that's like when I would do Simpsons trivia, and you're like, oh, I grew up with the Simpsons. I love the Simpsons, and then you go there, and there's just some fucking nerds.
They'll
that just know
destroy
everything.
I remember doing Simpsons trivia like online back in the day, and it would be like, what episode number was like, well, who the fuck knows this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing one, and one of the questions was like, what were all the food groups in Nick Riviera's food show when
Jesus.
like Homer was gaining weight?
Do you guys understand what's good about the show? I don't know if you do.
That's funny. Simpsons trivia is just a bunch of autistic people trying to pretend they love The Simpsons.
Yeah. I love it.
This guy's never laughed in his life.
Yeah. Homer says dough 37 times.
Should we wrap it there?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Eric Hutton, anything that you'd like people to go and search out? Where can they find you? What should they
just follow me on Instagram, and I'll put gigs up there.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm not fantastic at putting all my gigs up, but I'm trying to be better.
All right.
And all the sketches and shit will go up there as well.
Yep, go check out on Compulsory Entertainment on YouTube.
One of my favorite
Eric Hutton Comedy is the Instagram.
One of my favorite of your old sketches was what's that Nolan movie with the fucking loud
Tenet.
Tenet?
Oh,
the old
yeah.
one
Where the music keeps playing over it, talking. Yeah.
So
and then I eat a banana backwards. Real intelligent shit.
That's why Hammer hated it. How fucking smart is this
Trying to be too clever, mate.
And the brightness
footage should go forwards.
All right. We always end this. Well, we're going to ask you to do something again, but we've seen how that plays out.
Yeah. What do you want? What do you need?
You got to say, you say, stay flogged up.
That's just one of our catchphrases. You say that, and we finish the podcast.
All right. No, I'll do that.
All right, go for it.
Stay fogged up.
Check the dodgems.
Oh, fuck.
Stay fogged up.
Do you want to try it
Get
again?
inside your car. Don't turn the AC on. Stay fogged up.
All right, so you said that wrong. Let's try it one more time. Go ahead. Anytime you're ready, Eric.
Stay flogged up.
Check the dodgems.
Bye.
I thought for sure you were going to fuck with that again.